Treasury takes action against pig butchering scams. In May 29, 2025, the U.S. Department of the Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control, OFAC, announced sanctions against 3 individuals and 4 entities tied to pig butchering scams. These were not small-scale operators. Treasury linked them to transnational fraud networks involving crypto investment schemes, human trafficking, and money laundering. The government made it clear, pig butchering is more than consumer fraud. It's a global crime problem that destabilizes financial systems and destroys lives. That is why the sanctions froze U.S. assets, prohibited American companies from doing business with them, and cut the criminals off from the banking system. The relevance to my case. Why is this important to me and to thousands of other victims? Because the same type of infrastructure Treasury sanctioned is exactly what I found in my own investigation. Scam domains like Intellisoft.rest and Intellisoft.one were not hosted in a hidden basement or on some obscure server. They were hosted on Amazon Web Services EC2 servers in Singapore. When victims logged into the fake dashboards, they were actually connecting through AWS computers. Treasury sanctions prove that the U.S. government recognizes pig butchering infrastructure as a national security threat. So the obvious question is, why does AWS get a free pass? AWS as a trusted government partner. Let's remember, AWS GovCloud is trusted by the Pentagon, by the Treasury Department itself, and by U.S. law enforcement. They hold FedRAMP, DoD, and ITER certifications. They operate under U.S. jurisdiction and compliance standards. So AWS cannot pretend that its Singapore servers are out of reach. As a U.S. company with billions in federal contracts, AWS is obligated to cooperate with investigations, subpoenas, and fraud reports. Notice was given, but action wasn't taken. In my case, AWS had direct notice. I filed an abuse report documenting Intellisoft's fraudulent activity. The domains were reported, flagged, and connected to financial harm. What happened next? Instead of blocking the servers, the scam simply shifted branding from Intellisoft.rest to Intellisoft.one. AWS continued to bill the criminals. That's not a lack of awareness. That's willful negligence, the double standard. Here's the double standard. For government clients, AWS enforces airtight compliance. They protect classified data and meet every standard imaginable. But when ordinary victims are defrauded, the same company looks away while its servers are weaponized for scams. Treasury has already sanctioned Funnel Technology, another cloud provider that played the same role, hosting pig butchering infrastructure at scale. Funnel was named publicly, and its administrator was blacklisted. The principle is simple. If you provide the servers that power fraud, you are part of the crime. So why is AWS, a trillion-dollar company, allowed to hide behind excuses? The path forward. This is not just about one victim or one scam, it's about accountability. If Treasury can sanction small-scale cloud providers for enabling pig butchering, then AWS, with far more resources and far more notice, must be held to the same standard. Justice means applying the same rules to the biggest corporations as to the smallest operators. It means recognizing that negligence at scale has consequences, whether it's a company in Manila or the largest cloud provider in the United States. Pig butchering has been officially recognized by Treasury as a national security issue. My case proves that AWS infrastructure was part of the same fraud system. The government cannot continue to praise AWS as a trusted partner on one hand and ignore its role in enabling global scams on the other. This is not only a fight for victims, it's a fight for integrity in our financial system. And if we want real change, we must demand accountability from every player, including Amazon Web Services.